So, Calibur Crats, we are back. And the last session that we had for Voyage to Erebus, we were without one of our leads, Zeres. And so we are here today. Zeres had prior obligations then, which is why he wasn't able to make it. But Dylan is here now, so he's ready to go on his side mission. So without further ado, this is the first side quest, Voyage Back, for the Voyage to Erebus. So, set the scene up. What you didn't see in the last session was at the very beginning of the session. Basically started out sort of in the middle of the night, early morning, about 2 or 3 a.m. and all that. By this point, though, while Hercules had been standing on the main part of the ship just waiting to arrive at the island for the Cyclones, Hermes ran up to Hercules, and you had just come up from underneath the ship, from basically staying in your room and everything like that. You come up peaceful and quiet. You hear the breeze, you hear the wind just blowing nice and easy, set. And as you come up, you see that Hercules and Hermes are talking amongst each other, and Hercules sort of nodding to Hermes as if confused by what Hermes was saying, but ultimately, nods his head, and they turn to you at that point. And Hercules calls out, "Zeres!" Waves you over.
What do you want?
So Hercules and Hermes sort of, as you're walking towards them, walk to meet you about halfway. And Hercules says, "Hermes just informed me that the gods need you back in Olympus because there's something that you need to do, and then you won't be on this part of the journey with us. So Hermes is going to take you. You're going to fly back to Olympus with Hermes.
Okay.
So gather what you need to take with you real quick, and then you can both be off.
Alright, I'll be back up here when I got everything.
So you're going to go down, obviously, to your room and all that to make haste and to pack what you need. What are you going to bring with you? What do you want to bring? All of your normal essentials?
Yeah, everything I usually have with me.
Okay. So keep up with that inventory. Keep up with that. And basically what you bring with you, but at this point is all of your belongings for the most part, probably packed away, stuff like that.
Everything I have, I keep my ring of regeneration on me at all times.
Okay.
It never comes off of me.
Okay.
The potion of necrotic resistance, my wand, and my cloak of invisibility.
Okay. Alright, so basically, at this point, you've been called back out. You meet up on the surface of the ship again. Again, still, about 2 to 3 at night and all that. It's still dark. You see the stars out, you see the moon out, you see clouds whistling around y'all, wind blowing peacefully and all that. Hermes grabs, or sticks his hand out to, grab and says, "Are you ready?"
I'm ready.
Hermes grabs you and all that, basically puts you in front so that he can grab you, underneath your arms to be able to lift you and carry you. But he turns and he basically calls out to Hercules and saying, "Did nobody tell me this man didn't know how to fly?" Takes off. Just lifts off with you. And so as you're sitting there freaking out in the air, like going up in the air, he's flying you at top speed. You're probably at this point going about 200, 250 miles per hour equivalency and all that. You are flying through the air with Hermes. Give it about 30 to 40 minute break in time. And as you are progressing through the clouds with Hermes holding you and all that, you come upon a familiar sight. And it is Olympus. He's brought you back to Olympus. Out on the steps of Olympus are the big three. Okay? You got Zeus standing in the middle. Your father standing sort of off and down to his left-hand side, and Poseidon is sitting on the steps, just waiting. And Hermes is going to drop you off at the base of the steps for you to be able to walk up to them. So when he drops you off, he's going to drop you off He's going to nod to Zeus and to Hades and Poseidon, and he's going to take back off towards the ship. Now comes your tale of this session. So, Hades is going to look at you from up and just make eye contact, nod a little bit, and then stick his hand out and just gesture you to come forward. As you are coming up the stairs, Zeus is going to speak up. Zeus, son of Hades, we have troubling times, as you know. There's something you can help out with that maybe could lessen our torture, our strain.
Okay, Zeus, just let me know and I'll do my best to figure it out.
Hades stands at that point and gestures for Zeus to stay quiet. And your father starts heading down the stairs towards you, not 10 stairs away. Starts heading down the stairs towards you. And basically addresses you. Son, this part of the journey none of the others know because none of the others can do what you can do. Nor can they be as silent as you can be, as mischievous as you can be. So we had discussed and decided that this is the moment we need you the most. Unfortunately, I know you just got back from visiting our homeworld, but I'm going to have to send you back. It is to a very unfaltered region within our home, one that you've never visited before. It will be new terrain. This is deeper than Erebus. You are to go back there and retrieve a specific artifact that could change the course, that could change the tide of this outcome conflict. Are you prepared?
I already thought, is there anything I need to be worried about down there, since I don't know?
There are more creatures than you can even think about in this setting. So, basically, things you should worry about are mainly creatures of my own design. See, these creatures I have created. These creatures are of my mind. But they only listen to my mind.
So they don't know me.
And he shakes his head at you. And he puts his hand on your shoulder and says, but rest assured, you will be fine. If they do attack you, this is a true test for you. Remember what you told me?
Yeah.
Before you left on this journey, you said you were prepared for any test. You were ready for a chance to prove yourself.
Which I am.
And this will show that. Not only myself, but will show my brothers. And he gestures back to look at them, who are now looking at you. This will show my brothers that you do have the heart enough to fight for Olympus, even if this is not my home place anymore. My brothers have agreed that it can be yours if you so choose, and that you can serve amongst the other gods up here. But in due time, that will be a decision for you to make on your own. But for now, rest well. In about 3 hours, you will be summoned, and we will send you to the plane of non-existence. So that is where you are set to go. Plane of non-existence. In the plane of non-existence, there are creatures. There are creatures that you will encounter. However, with these creatures, you'll have to figure out specifically what they are, judging by clues that I give to you as to their movements, as to how they sound, everything of that nature. And if you end up getting close when you're trying to tell me what you think they are, I will nod and tell you what they are. if you get close on figuring them out. But once you figure them out, I will give you some of their weaknesses so that you may be able to combat them appropriately. So the three brothers leave, and they head back into Olympus and all that, into the main throne room. And several of the guards, the soldiers of Olympus, grab you and take you basically to your own quarters where you can stay for the next few hours to rest, do whatever you need to do and all that. So is there anything you want to do right now before you get on with the quest?
I just want to double check I have everything right. I want to double check I have everything that I need.
Okay.
My wing regeneration stays on my fingers. Like it don't come off. I never take it off. Make sure I have my wand. Make sure it's not damaged or anything. Or make sure I have my invisibility cloak and the potion.
Yep. Everything is as it needs to be. Nothing's damaged, everything is good, so you are perfectly ready for it. So about 2 to 3 hours time passes by and you hear a knock on your door. And one of the guards opens it. Once you sit up and look at him, the guard says, "Young Zuris, it is time."
Okay.
They walk you into the Grand Throne Room. And in the Grand Throne Room, now, compared to the times that all of y'all have visited, there's something that's different with the throne room. The throne room has a pedestal in the center of it, something that you can step onto. But besides that, that's all it looks like. It looks like it just might be a simple new addition. But what you do not know about this pedestal is that this pedestal has the ability to transport any of the gods anywhere they choose to go or need to go. And at this particular instance, is going to be what sends you down to the plane of non-existence. The plane of non-existence lies 2,000 feet below Erebus. That is where you must travel to. It will be hot, even for your sake. So, as you're walking in with soldiers and all that, your father sort of slinks out of the shadows and all that and comes, places his hand on your shoulder, and he's like, "Son, there's no need to be afraid. When you go down to the plane of non-existence, understand, you don't want to spend forever down there. It is incredibly hot. It is incredibly covered in shadow. Things that you might seem like are allies to you are nothing more than a figment to your mind. They are not allies. Nothing down there is an ally to you. The artifact that we are sending you in to find is going to be in the shape of a cube. This cube is going to balance out everything. And at this point, he stops you and looks at you. When you find the cube, all of the mystery behind this artifact will be revealed to you. You will know what this is when you come across it. Stay true to yourself. Stay true to what you master. And you will come out fine.
Yes, Father.
He gestures you to the pedestal. Once you're standing upon the pedestal, he closes his eyes and sort of like a clouded black mist starts to form around you, around the pedestal. And at this point, once it clouds all the way around you, above you, below you, everything, it goes pitch black for a second. And then dissipates. And as soon as it dissipates, in front of you, you see a towering sort of like a waterfall almost. But instead of water, it is magma that pours down this fall. Over to your right and to your left, nothing but sharp-edged rocks that are lit aflame. Now being in the plane of non-existence, the reason this place is called the plane of non-existence is because you cannot retreat from this place until you find what you're looking for.
No, mate.
So to everyone else, you are non-existent now. It is just you and you alone. You ready to commence forward? Okay. As you look, you notice that there are certain spots as the magma is falling down, the fall, where it breaks apart for about a 3-second time span, and then magma pours over the spot again. It breaks out. And beyond that point in the magma fall, whenever you see the breaks, you notice that there's a tunnel that goes behind the magma. And it goes to parts of the moon. Behind you is also a tunnel, but it is a much larger tunnel. It doesn't have any light to it, though. And you cannot see where the end of this tunnel is. To your left, you have sort of like a barren, boiling rock walkway that you can walk upon to walk an actual path, but you do not know where it leads. Over to your right is just a wall of rocks, boulders, everything with fire. Where do you want to go?
No, mate.
I'm gonna try to shine a light, maybe try down the dark hall. Try to shoot a fireball down there and maybe light up the place a little bit.
If we roll. We roll. What is fireball at, if anything? Fireball should be only like spells and stuff like that. Spells and cantrips.
I could just add it. I'll make it add it.
Okay, we'll have to add it next time. But I can tell you this much. 5's not going to do it. So, when you try to shoot the fireball out, it carries on for a little bit of distance into the cave, but the darkness inside this cave is so just powerful that it dissipates your fireball immediately. Like after 10, 15 feet, your fireball goes out into complete pitch black.
Let's see if I can get to the wall that has a banging boulders and rocks on it.
The wall of boulders, sharp-edged rocks that are on front. Okay, I want you to make me a perception check. So that should be on your regular page. You should be able to scroll down until you see perception.
It's gonna be on the abilities.
Perception. Okay, so you don't have any modifiers in perception, so you've got to at least roll a 12 or higher. Okay. So when you are looking at this wall of sharp-edged rocks and everything like that, you notice that there are certain points that you can climb up because fire does not illuminate them. They're cool enough for you to be able to grab onto, sort of like in a rock climbing adventure. And there is a certain break in the wall where the fire is that signals that there is a staircase on the other side of the wall.
That's not what I was thinking about.
It's not something you can open, though. You're going to have to climb onto.
Well, let's try to climb it then.
Make me an acrobatics check.
It's not so too late.
Nope. It's not going to. All right. So upon trying to grab for the wall, all right, grab one, you're completely fine. The second that you try to grab the second part and all that, you slip and you grab a hot part of the wall and immediately let go and release and drop back down to the ground. Realizing that path is also going to be a hard one to take.
Does he take any damage from the ball?
He was like 2 or 3 feet from the ground. As soon as he grabbed it, he let go because he realized that was too hot for him. Hey, I'll try something else.
Yeah, if that was too hot, let's do the wall with no fire. It's just the wall isn't.
You've got 2 options left. The left, to your left, if you're facing the magma fall, to your left is a walkway of rock. More rocks that you can walk on. Almost like you see those people that are walking on hot coals or hot stuff and stuff like that. You've got that goes around one way or a path, you don't know where it goes to. And then the magma falls in front of you. There's a break every 3 seconds that gives you a 3-second window for you to be able to enter a tunnel by just walking through.
I think that might be the easiest one.
Okay.
I'm gonna try that one.
Alright, so you're going to step up to the magma wall. And as the magma is falling and all that, it falls, and now you get your 3-second option. Roll me an acrobatics check.
18.
Okay, so you are successfully able to slip under real quick before the magma falls back down. Now you are in a dark tunnel. This one much smaller, only fit for one creature from one being. So, in this tunnel, it's a dark tunnel that's probably, I'd say, about 4 feet across by like 9 feet tall. And obviously circular and all that, but at this point, as you go in, you hear down the tunnel, you hear sorts. So, you begin to make your way down the tunnel. At this point, you got up to 60-foot vision, dark vision and all that. So I can tell you that for the next 60 feet, you're okay, there's nothing in there. When you go past 60 feet, you see an opening, very faint opening. You see an opening out of the wall. The thing is, that opening, you're going to have to get a running start to dive through it, because the opening is only 3 feet by 3 feet. So let me get an acrobatics check again. And he did. So, even with your stuff beside you and all that, you managed to be able to run. And as you're running and all that, you sort of straighten your body out, diving through it. And when you dive through the hole, it's sort of like you spin and then land like on your feet and your hands again and all that. And when you look up, you are in a room that is engulfed in flames on the ceiling, engulfed in flames, around all the walls and all that. And sort of set up like a smaller tomb, kind of like a 15 by 30 foot rectangular tomb and all that. There's several tombs on the middle of the floor and all that, several stones that, it looks like there could be bodies in it, but they're covered up now. They're sealed. And so you can't really get into them. But when you land in there, it stirs up some dust up where you are from the ground, some dirt and all that. And as you think everything's all right, you hear more of a I need you to make me a perception check.
You ain't got no mouth power, so just do whatever you want.
5.
You don't see that. What'd you get?
5.
Okay.
I don't see
Okay, so you get to see something. You do see a shadow of what appears to be like a serpent passing through the flames. However, it's got a very odd normality to it. See, this serpent has the beak of an eagle. And upon it, when it like posts itself up, of course you don't know where it is right now, when it posts itself up, its beak opens up and tentacles come out from around the beak.
It's a graboid.
It is a grick.
Graboid.
Yeah, the D&D graboid.
They're going to grab me, alright.
It's a grick. So, at this point, you see the shadow that you do not know where it is. You want to try to roll perception again to see if you can figure out where it is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is going to be fun.
Oh, boy.
Oh, that one. Yeah, you did. You did.
So, at this point, you're sitting here and you see the shadow. You're trying to make out what it is, but you're too slow in trying to figure it out.
behind me.
And so, no, from right above you, the tail is going to slap you on the back. And I need you.
Roll initiative.
I became stupid.
Well, first off, I need him to take 2
$2
damage.
So minus 2. You can click on your HP and then minus 2. You should be able to.
Okay, so you good now?
Yep.
Okay, so at this point, yes, you're going to get hit, slapped in the back, and it's going to knock you down to the throne room in between 2 of those little, basically tomb caskets and all that, stone caskets that are centered on the floor and all that. There's 4 of them total that are lined up. It's going to knock you into the middle of those, and you're going to turn around to reveal the group. So, with that, I do need you to roll initiative. Oh man.
What did you get?
18.
I got 1 below 17.
17? Okay.
What's
So-
the initiative?
Yep. Your initiative.
I don't think I have a thing.
Yeah. Plus 4 to your
Yep.
initiative.
So
So you're on 21.
21.
So, you will get to make the first move. Alright, so, now that you've seen this Grick, the Grick specializes in stone camouflage. So,
Okay.
the Grick has advantage on dexterity stealth checks made to hide in rocky terrain.
You're surrounded by a bunch of rocks right now.
How well can it see?
Its dark vision is 60 feet, the same as yours.
Mm-hmm.
Its passive perception is 12. So, if you're wanting to find weaknesses amongst this thing as you go along, you're going to have to roll perception checks, and you're going to have to beat a 12 in order for me to be able to tell you things that you can do to take out this monster.
The reason I said how well can it see, I was going to try to use my cloak of invisibility to try to get around him and look at him to see if I can find anything.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can do that and all that. You just got to wait for a moment where it's stunned in order to be able to place that cloak around you, because it can't see the cloak. It can't see when you're invisible. It can't see you. So I will give you that. Also, okay, so when it gets attacked, it takes half damage on anything that is bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing from non-magical items. What do you have in particular?
His wand.
My wand's magical because I can make it.
So you using that wand for your
Just
spells and
hurt it.
everything like that will hurt it the full extent, not halfway. So, that being said, you were the first one. Go ahead. What would you like to try and do first amongst the group?
Let's see. So my wand, I can make anything come out my wand. Like, I can use like 5 balls and stuff, which I don't think I'm. I don't think I'm gonna use a 5 ball right now. What's this? How many hit points does it have? So you say anything above 12? Beat it for the.
No. Its armor class is 14, so
Okay,
you got to roll a 14 or higher. Or if you use one of your your wand or stuff like that, whatever your wand adds to it, which I think is like 3.
It is. It's 3.
So
My spell attack.
So you roll your d20 and then add 3 to whatever's on the d20, and as long as it's 14 or higher, you have hit your mark, and so then you can deliver damage.
Okay, I'm gonna use I'm gonna shoot a fireball out my
Out the wand.
out the wand and see if I can hit it.
Okay.
Line in between the beat.
Okay, so you want to try to hit it in the mouth.
Hit it in the mouth.
Okay. 15 does hit. All right. So what does it say your damage is on that? What did you try to use?
You use a fireball.
Fireball.
Okay, so it's why we need to add fireball to. What? Let me do something real quick.
Like the octopus snake and freaking bed. What the crap?
Well, we had to fight the Kraken.
Now go back.
Kraken.
And then
Right here.
Perseus.
Right here. Whoo! Buddy boy! Golly.
What happened?
He's got a 3rd level fireball.
Mm-hmm.
8d6 damage.
Yep. So you need 8 of the regular dice. You got any more dice? Where's your other dice? You got another. I know you got another
Where's my
dice in that one.
Where's my bag?
There.
Yeah.
I know. I got how many?
So you 8 of them.
8.
Which you won't have 8 of them.
What's this?
At the most you'll have
Yeah, you'll just have to roll 4 2 times. 4.
That's 2 about that.
4. And then you got 2 right here. So you'll have to roll all 4 of those twice.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll them 4, and then write down the number of that, and then roll 4. Them 4 one more time. Roll them all at the same time.
All at the same time.
Yep.
Alright.
Alright, so
5, 10. That's 20.
20. Now hit. Alright, write down 20. That way we.
Yeah, I'll remember.
Alright. And I'll roll all of them again.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So 30 points of damage.
30 points of damage. Alright. Let me ask you a question.
How you want to kill this thing?
How do you want to kill this thing? With that one hit! Golly! He did a hit perfectly and got a 1 hit. Oh.
Hey, you want to talk about me being freaking squishy?
Alright, Trisha.
I got stronger squishy.
You're still squishy though.
I'm squishy, but I got stronger.
How do you want it done? So you shot the fireball into its beak. At that point, it was trying to open up and all that to give a loud shriek the second that you casted it, and it went inside. How do you want it?
How you want them to die?
happen?
Well, it went inside of it.
Yeah, it's inside of them.
So I want it like it burst open and fire just like spew like
Blows his
it
head
blows
off.
up into it and fire just
Blows his head off.
blows his head off. Fire comes out everywhere.
Okay. So, all right.
Dang.
So, upon seeing this, that happens, and for a second, you sense that everything's chill, everything's all right, until you hear. Well, the second that you hear that, it sort of starts ringing, and it's getting louder and all that. And when you look up, you see the alpha slithering down the walls, tentacles open, beak open, coming right at you.
So this is he gonna be bigger.
This one spans about 20 feet more,
God.
and about 2 to 3 feet more in diameter. So it is definitely larger. I need you to roll initiative again.
See if you
You roll.
16.
11.
Plus
15. So it's 4 for his initiative. So now this one will have striking opportunity first. And the first thing he's going to do, the only thing that makes him different is that he's bigger. But
So he has
being
the same
bigger,
weaknesses.
being bigger, yeah. But being bigger means that he's got a stronger armor class.
Yeah.
For this battle, he's at 16.
So you gotta beat a 16, dude.
So you've got to meet or beat a 16.
Okay.
So he is going to whip around with his tail after he gets on the ground floor and try to swipe across the top to hit you across your chest and knock you over one of the stone caskets. So he's going to use the tail. All right. 14. Does a 14 hit?
Yes, it does.
All
I'm
right.
on the class of 11.
Okay. Yeah, we got to beat you up, boy. All right.
Well, with warlocks, they squish you, and they can't roll on with it.
Okay,
This
so
guy's stronger.
he's going to give you 12 points of damage.
What's that get you now?
18.
You're at 18.
18 hit points, yep. 18.
So now, what do you wish to do?
Let's see.
I will try another fireball. That's just me though.
Let's see if we can try to do the same thing I did with the first one.
So you're
Try to see
trying
if
to
we can
hit
hit it right in the middle again. Try to
Like in the middle.
Yep, the same place.
Okay.
Roll you a d20.
Same place. 19.
Yeah, you.
You definitely hit.
Now roll your 4 d6s 2 times.
Where's your other? There's one right
Yeah,
here.
you should have just
Yeah,
kept it.
leave-
Oh, leave them out.
Leave all those dice out. Yep.
Yeah, just dump the whole dice bag. There you go. What you got?
2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
All right, 15. I roll
Roll
all of
again.
them again.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So you got 25.
25 points of damage. All right. Cool. All right. So at this point, when the fireball goes in, it goes in and it does some damage. You can see the smoke coming out of it after it sort of explodes in its mouth and all that. But the tentacles wrap themselves around the beak real quick and all that when that comes out. And then it opens up and all that. When it opens up, you see that there are like burn marks upon the tentacles and everything like that. And there's burn marks centered on the edge of the beak and everything like that. But it lets out this huge, humongous roar. Almost sounds like the basilisk from Harry Potter, the Chamber of Secrets. Lets out this huge sort of roar and all that. And it's sort of like tentacles sense your direction, look back down at you and all that. And so the tentacles, they're going to try to move forward towards you. The actual snake does try to move within, melee range and all that, within 5 feet. And the tentacles are going to try, one of them is going to try and reach out and swipe at you again. Does a 10 hit?
Nope.
Alright? So, when the tentacle tries to whip out and hit you, you sort of see it coming. Because it's from more of a distance than the tail can cover. Then, as soon as you see the tentacle coming at you, you sort of like duck out the way and all that and come back up and are staring at it as it's trying to retract its tentacle. Here we go.
Let's see. I can use my cloak and go with it.
Yeah, you can because it's sort of, the tentacle coming back is sort of like blinding his vision from where you are.
So I'm gonna throw that on real quick and go invisible.
Okay. What do you want to do now?
I'm gonna walk around it and see if I can find a weakness anyway.
Okay.
See if I can-
Roll me perception. Remember, you need a 12 or more.
20.
20. Oh gosh, I'm going to give you everything on this thing. All right, you ready for this? You ready for this?
Yep.
All right. So if you cut off its tail, it bleeds from the backside. But funny thing is, you can't cut it off with a melee weapon because its impervious to slashing, stabbing, piercing, bludgeoning, all that from a non-magical item. You're gonna have to find a way to get his tail off with a magical item of your choice.
I don't think he does it one of them.
He does have his wand.
But my wand can make anything.
You've been casting fireball
Try to cut it off.
and try to make it explode. Let's stick it there. Now, another option that you have is its tentacles are its only protection for its face. Again, you can try and burn the tentacles off. What do you
I'll
say?
blow him up or something.
Uh,
I'll blow him up or something.
Yep. The third option that you have is that they are easily susceptible to suicide dives. So, what I mean by that is...
Have you ever watched Tremors?
Yeah.
Okay, whenever the grapple is running after Ted Bacon and them, and they jump over and it goes off the cliff. Yeah, that.
Yeah. But to you, there are no quote-unquote cliffs here, but there are plenty of sharp-edged rocks and walls to go around.
When that one dies up the way, I'm
Let it go face first into it.
making a shit come out.
Or you can start attempting to. So those are your big things that you can use right now against this. Again, this thing has stone camouflage, so at any point it wants to disappear, it'll definitely disappear before your eyes, and you won't know where it is until it attacks you again. So I would not give it an opportunity to camouflage. The other thing that this one does is that if you go invisible, which you just did, and you miss it, every turn that you're invisible, it has a chance to try to sense where you are and make a move on you. So just be careful with that. But what would you like to do now that you know its weaknesses? I'd say at this point, you're back behind the tail, which is where you see.
I'm gonna try to light the tip of my wand on fire. Stick it to the edge of the tail. See if I can probably try to.
So you're gonna try to physically touch it.
Not really, but not like physically touch it, but get it far enough away from it with a fire actually get it and see if I can.
So you want to
try to blow it up and try to set it on that.
notice it has advantage the second that you cast that to be able to try and swipe. Alright, so if you're gonna do that, then roll me. That gives you advantage, so roll twice and choose the higher number. 13 plus 3, you said?
From the fire roll.
For the spells, yeah. Spells modifier? Spells modifier.
Yeah,
3, okay. That's a 16, which does hit. Does hit. So go ahead and roll me some damage again. The 4d6.
Yeah, all 4 d6, 2 times.
Okay. Move that 6 off. That was a 6. Keep that 6. That's 22. No. 21. So 21 plus 10 is 31. Woo! You doing some big hits with that fireball on this, man. Come on now. Alright, so now as you blast it from right there with that, fireball and all that coming out of your wand, it's a powerful blast. You made it right there, and it connected instantly and shot off the back of its tail. So this thing goes into a huge rage and swings its head around with the tentacles. And it was going to try to hit you with the tentacles, but 11. Does an 11 hit? Right on. Okay. So, tentacles. Oh gosh.
About to die.
48 plus 4.
You're about to die. You're about to be in death rows.
That's 50. That's 52.
I
have 18, so 52 is going to take me to 52 is going to take me to the negatives. It's going to
Yeah,
take
you
me
going to sure guy.
It's going to take me to
That's
the
what we
negatives.
used to do.
It's going to take me to the negatives.
Okay, so you have now just taken 13 points of hit damage.
You're at a 1.
No, it shouldn't be.
4.
He's at 4.
So you are incredibly weakened at this. This thing just mocked you with its tentacles from hitting you and all that. You went flying back and all that. However, your ring of regeneration you've been wearing this whole time. So, from when you were wounded last turn, and now, you can make healing up. So do you remember how to heal up?
You should go on the ring of the
Regeneration. Well, you would gain 1d6 hit points every 10 minutes, provided that you have at least 1 hit point.
So roll a d6.
Which we're not doing. You roll 2 of them and all that. We're not doing every 10 minutes and all that. We're doing every round. Because it's just...
That's 2.
I get 2 hit points.
Yeah, I get 2 hit points back.
So he's at what? 6?
Yep.
6.
Dang, what do you do? Roll 2 ones?
Yeah.
You did?
God, no. Alright, so now it's looking at you. And it's sort of like its face is within like 5 feet from you. So it's relatively close. Close enough for another blast like that if you think you can do it. And its tentacles are open.
Since the first time, so is the tail already off? Is the tail gone?
It's bleeding. Every time you get down to your turn, I roll the d12, and whatever that d12 lands on it is how much damage I take for loss of blood.
Alright, well since that's already off, and since the tentacles already have burn marks on them, which they probably already hurting already, I'm gonna try to burn the tentacles off the same way I did with the tail.
So you're going to try to do a fire blast.
Try to do the fire blast.
Roll it. You do have advantage because you're melee range.
10. What's a fireball is 3, 10, 13.
Well, again, you get advantage, so the higher number is what you take.
Yeah, that's 12. The high number was 12. 10 is 12.
That'd be 15, which barely misses its mark. So, barely misses its mark. And as it misses the mark and all that, you know, it sort of started going, but it was able to close its tentacles real quick. So the tentacles took about half damage, although it's still a little bit of damage. So roll me 4d6. And just 4. Don't roll them twice, but just roll 4d6.
Just one. All 4. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Okay, so you burned its tentacles, and when you burnt its tentacles with blast, it was able to cover up a good bit of it. So instead of that, you said 15? Yeah, instead of that 15, it only takes 8 damage because it was able to protect itself most. So right now, 31 plus 25 is 56 plus 8 is 64. You are 11 points of damage from killing it. At this point, it's going to hiss and like roar in your face and all that as soon as the tentacles go wide open. And it's going to slither around you, but then slither into the rocks and all that. And it's going to use stone camouflage.
Okay.
So, there's only one thing you can do with stone camouflage to see it. With stone camouflage, you are still invisible. So I would move around first off. Right.
Can I make a suggestion?
Mm-hmm.
Is there like rocks and pillars above him?
There's rocks all up the wall and everything.
Okay, why don't you just fireball the rocks on the roof and they fall down and they might hit you?
Yeah, he still will probably want to know where it is because by the time he's doing that, this snake could have
like
damage against him.
probably by the time I'm looking up, it can always be over.
It's just a suggestion.
So, remember what happened with your wand when you raised it? In the quote-unquote dream sequence you had of trying to get out of Erebus? When you use your wand at your father?
When you was fighting Hades in the dream, when we all got knocked out last session.
Yeah, I remember when I was
Yeah,
fighting.
so you know they can use fireballs. However, there's something mystic about it that you don't know, right?
There's a secret thing.
There was a secret thing with it that you couldn't figure it out. How are you so that you could find out?
Oh, I got another. Doesn't he have hellish rebuke? And he really doesn't even have to see it. He just has to cast because it's done attacked him.
Dude,
let me look real quick.
that just freaked me out. Like when I saw my phone at the corner of my eye, I knew it was there. I was thinking when I looked back, it was gone. I was like, what the fuck?
He does have hellish rebuke. Yep.
And he ain't even got to physically see him, does he? Because it already attacked him, so he could just cast it and it will work, if I'm correct.
In response to being damaged by a creature within 60 feet of you that you can see.
Oh, shoot. Dang it. I'm trying to help you.
Dang, Rob.
I'm trying to help you.
God. Okay, so. Ooh, wait, hold on.
Oh, Josh, can I find something else?
Somebody's taking care of this.
What's the series over? Especially on their couch.
Probably in your clothes, you don't even know.
I do have something that can help you here that you actually do have. Find Familiar. You can cast Find Familiar, and it'll allow you to choose one of those animals of choice,
I have
and that animal acts for you. So you can
And you can sniff it out.
it can sniff it out, it can find it, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically with where you are and the fact that it is dark and everything like that, I would do the very first animal that's on there because it would make the most sense.
What is that?
A bat.
Oh, yeah, true.
The bat would make the most sense.
And it got sonar, so.
It's got sonar, so it can know any breathing, anything like that. And it can also basically point its way towards where it is. So the second that it finds it, it'll fly to the snake. It'll fly to the grape.
Be like Pokemon. This thing. Bad, I choose you.
Well, you don't get.
Yeah, I can do with that.
Okay?
Bad,
So-
I choose you.
So choose the bat. Well, when you cast it,
That would have been funny. I would choose the fall.
when you cast it, the bat sort of goes into the air and sort of, starts spinning around, starts flying around the room and all that until it stops over a head of rocks and all that that's to your immediate left and takes a diving down towards the rocks and all that. But when it lands into the rocks, it doesn't come back up.
Okay, so I think
Well,
they
now you know
killed my
where
bat.
this thing is.
I think they killed my bat.
Now you can do the rock thing I was talking about earlier. Like shoot the rocks above it with a fireball.
Alright, so that's what I'm gonna get my wand out. The ball, I'm gonna shoot the rocks and have the rocks come tumbling down.
That'll roll for the roll D20.
Okay.
That's a 3.
Didn't do it.
Good work. So when you shoot it prematurely before getting to those rocks and all that in a frantic move, and it hits the ceiling that is above, sort of to the right where the snake is and all that, and breaks those rocks down, giving the snake that edge to be able to slither back out from underneath, or from around the rocks and all that, and onto the main floor, where it is now facing you. And it is going to let out a huge shriek. And it is going to try to attack with the tail, but has to do disadvantage because of the fact that tail is bleeding and that it's where it's in the most pain. Okay. And a 5 plus 4. No. Yeah. 5 plus 4. 9. Does that hit?
Nope.
Okay. It misses you. It whiffs you because you've basically burned off a great portion of the tail to where it's not as long as it thought it once was. Or thought it was. And so it whiffs right in front of you. Some of the blood, just splashes you up on the face or like that oof moment. But it whips around and tries to hit you with the tail, and now its backside is facing from you. And you notice that in this tail, where you burned it off, while it's still bleeding out, there's a hole that is in the tail that goes into the body.
Let's see if I can aim a fireball through it. Let me see if I should
I'm
fireball
gonna stick it up his butt.
Tell me.
Alright, go ahead.
Time for your colonoscopy.
Go ahead.
Try to see if you're constipated.
And you got advantage because its back is turned against you. So roll it twice and choose a higher number.
11.
11 plus 3 is 14.
Don't hit.
Man, my colonoscopy anyway. I forgot my gloves.
The only thing you've done at this point
Just peed it off. Just peed it off.
well, you pissed it off, but the flame engulfed around the back to be able to cauterize where it was bleeding. So it's
Oh.
no longer bleeding. But
And there's no more hole.
But we've gone around.
So you can roll a D6 again.
It has lost a lot of blood too.
Yeah, it's also a lot of blood, which means that I've got to roll in just a second with a D12. But you need to roll 2 more.
Yeah, 2 more
D6
D6.
because it's been 2 rounds since you filled up.
Oh,
Go ahead.
just 4.
Just roll 2 of them.
That's 4.
That adds 4 more points back to your health because of the ring of regeneration.
Now what's your
10.
Got it? Okay. Alright, he's got to take D12 damage. And he takes 2 damage from the blood loss. How many rounds did I go without rolling that? Was it 2 rounds the same as?
I
think so.
I think it's ever since I cut off the tail.
Okay, so 8. So it's missing 8, which means you only have 3 points now until you can kill it. So it is definitely weak, and it's definitely feeling the effects of losing so much blood, trying to run around and hide and all that, but can't really do it because you're still on the attack, relentless. So at this point, it's fed up and it's trying to slither back while, looking at you, but it's trying to slither back like it's not trying to attack anymore. It is your go.
in the face. Oh, no, you can see it now. You can do hellish brew.
No, that's all I was
Yeah,
trying to
yeah, yeah.
find.
I forgot about that.
That's what I was trying to find exactly. Well, it'll be under my skills.
It's under spells.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So you can cast it, you don't have to roll for
Oh,
that.
this would be.
Yeah, you automatically cast it.
Yep, when we actually taking responsibility and damage 60 feet, you can say. He's within 60 feet of me.
Now, what's the damage of hellish brew?
The damage.
What do you got to roll?
3d10. I believe is what it
3d10
said.
fire, 3d10 fire damage.
Yeah, so roll 3d10.
So hold up, I've got to put up 3d10 myself, by the way.
You should have 3 because you got 2 sets of dice, don't you? You got the purple ones and the green ones.
I know, but I'm
Look
trying to
at
make
D10
sure I
though.
find the d10.
Is it like little?
Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah, it's going to be the double triangle.
So where's mine?
And I have one in my head too.
Where's mine?
Now you just need one more.
Did I not get it out of there? Hold on.
Maybe not.
Did I get it out of there?
I have this one that has like an 8.
Nope, I sure enough-
Oh, no, that's,
I sure enough
60,
did.
70.
I sure enough did.
So
So
roll
your
the-
zeros on those dice
Are
are
10.
tens.
So roll all 3 then. Oh, what you got?
3, 4. Is that a 1 right there?
You already damaged it.
I already know. Well, if that was a 1, that's 5.
You already got it.
He did.
So the hellish rebuke, when you point your wand, in this case, at it and all that to do hellish rebuke, flames engulf this thing. And I'm talking about not only around it,
Inside.
so much power being directly forced with your wand and all that is going to present itself right underneath the snake too. And this snake, this grick is just gonna completely burned alive. As it lets out its final screech and roar and all that, it's just going to burn alive, and you see it crisping up.
Before I cast it, husband, I'm gonna say, "Where do you think you going, buddy? Boy, I'm not done with you yet."
Well, no, I think you are done with it.
Where do you think you going, buddy? I ain't done with you yet.
And you cast it. Of course, it engulfs in flames and basically turns into a crisp, burnt shoestring.
Man, somebody burnt my shish kebab.
And it's just gonna sort of fall over, to the ground. Some of it's still keeping its form, but some of it turning into ash and all that. It's just lying there lifeless now.
You grow up and kick it.
So, at this point, when you defeated that, you notice that some of these, stone coffins sort of broken and cracked open. I want you to make me a perception check.
It's a 7. Perception. I don't think I know.
Yeah, it's flat 7.
Yeah, it's just like 7. So, you notice that at least one of these stone coffins cracked open all the way, doesn't contain anything in it, but it doesn't contain anything at all, meaning that this one in particular at least was empty completely.
So it's kind of like a little puzzle. I gotta figure out, see what's in each of them.
You try to roll perception.
You can keep rolling perception as many times as you want to see.
How many is there?
See, there's 3 left now.
3 left. 5.
Roll perception here.
That's a 6.
Okay. The second one you see is cracked. It's not enough to see inside, but you don't hear anything coming from it. You don't see anything, moving around in it or anything like that.
Okay.
So you could try to push over the top of it if you want to see what's inside.
I'm gonna see what's in the other one. I'm gonna come back to that one.
Okay.
See what's in the other one. Make sure that 20.
20. Okay. So in one in particular, the one that's on the very end, the opposite end of the one that you previously saw nothing was in, you definitely see a form of glowing in there.
Okay.
There's a glowing that sort of seems to be, gets bright and then dims, gets bright and then dims, and it's got sort of a emerald looking light to it.
Alright, I'm gonna go up to it.
Want to go up to it? You want to try to open it?
Yeah.
Okay. Need you to do a strength check for me.
It's not strength. An 11. It's a 7.
Okay. You're trying to budge this top off, but it's not wanting to budge much for you just pushing it. You're going to have to try something a little more powerful to either get the top off or to just destroy.
You like the fireball?
You like the fireball.
Fireball's strong, bro.
He likes the fireball.
And with this one, you don't have to add damage. If you
Alright, let's do a fireball.
okay, your fireball needs to be a 12.
God, it was on 17 basically. It was over to the thing, but I hit the wall. Dang.
Okay, so try to cast fireball, but the fireball hit off the stone too and all that, and it's not didn't budge, didn't crumble the wall or anything
Man,
like
that's
that.
nice
Still
stone.
stone. Make me another perception roll.
It's a 9.
Oh,
9.
no, okay. You are perceptive enough to be able to actually see that the cracks that are in this are, some are smaller, but some are kind of bigger in size, might be able to slide your hand in there enough to be able to grab whatever's inside.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to stick my hand in that thing.
Oh.
It's a 13.
So you successfully put your hand inside and can feel the artifact on it.
Does it feel like a cube? Does it feel like a cube? It
Roll me a perception.
see if it feels like a cube. It feels like a triangle. I don't think I'm on. It's a 14.
It is cute.
Alright, it feels like a cube. My father said the artifact's a cube.
Pull that sucker out.
Is it big? Is the crab big enough? How big is the cube? So it's big enough.
Yeah, it's big enough.
7.
You didn't have to roll that.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Can I get it out?
He's still learning, guys.
So, pull it out. The cube sort of starts lighting up a little bit more in your hand. It's no longer going dim, but it's just constant, steady, bright emerald glow. And it starts whispering. The cube is whispering to you. And it's about this time that you hear him behind you. You turn around. Hades stands behind you. Silent. And fear.
You do daddy or what?
I have a weird feeling that's not my daddy. I have a weird feeling it's not my daddy. I don't know why. I just have a weird feeling it's not.
Well, roll perception, isn't it?
I have a weird feeling it's not.
16.
It's your dad. It's Hades.
I just had a weird feeling it's like I just had a weird feeling.
Give it to him or what?
I don't know what this thing can do. That's the problem. If I knew what it can do and it was,
Do you not trust your father?
I don't know. Since your last time, I had a fighting. I knew how powerful he was. And if this
This was
thing,
in a dream sequence, bro.
I still know how powerful.
He's still scared.
I still know how powerful he is.
He still reaches his hands out. He begins to explain to you the artifact that you hold in your hand. It's called a Mayark. A Mayark is a cube that has the ability to see future events, both death and in life. The reason that we are searching and want to use this is because it can further help Yoma's cause in finding persons. But you can also help us to deter events that we might have by knowing what outcomes lie ahead, so that we may change the courses of things. He's going to hold out his hand once more and say, "Give it to us, son, so that we can help you in your cause." Now, it is up to you now, at this point, whether or not you want the gods to be in possession of something, or since you and your friends are the ones doing the gods' bidding, if you want to hold on to it and try to figure out what it does.
I'm gonna be a good friend. I'm gonna be a good friend, and I'm gonna try to keep it for myself.
Try to keep
I'm
yourself.
gonna be a good friend, try to help out my friend.
Alright.
Oh God, I can only tell that motherfucker. No, Daddy, no.
Well, at this rate, your father's going to let down his hand, seeing that you have lowered your hand with it at your side. He's going to lower his hand and look at you and say, "Choose your friends over us who can actually help you."
Well, I can help my friends too. I came in here fighting and those little octopus bell looking snake things.
He's going to do sort of like a small smug look. And he's going to get serious again. He says, "Do not disobey my orders once again."
I'm not trying to disobey your orders. You called me from the ship to come and get this relic. Why couldn't you get it?
Because I need to be on Olympus with my brothers, and we found out what's going on.
Well, if you need to be up in Olympus, then why are you down here right now?
Because I came to retrieve you. Your friends are pursuing persons right now, and we need to go back to them.
And I could have found my own way out. Try to help you. I like talking back to my dad.
Stop.
I like that. I ask questions.
We will talk about handing over my island. Your friends need you. At this point, he's going to grab a hold of you. Y'all are going to disappear into that cloud of mist again. And appear right before Zeus comes. Zeus looking down upon you. Son, have you come to my island?
Yes, I have.
Oh, we'll be nephew.
Son, is it like boy?
I'm not your son. What are you talking about?
I'm your nephew.
I'm your nephew. No, that's some weird stuff.
Zeus stands up.
Some weird stuff.
Zeus stands up as he walks down from the throne in front of you. He says, "I know that my brother would like to have this, but as of right now, it's currently on your hands. So take it to your friends and go down." And he's going to turn around and he's going to create sort of like a massive cloud wall. And amongst the cloud wall, it opens up. And as it's opening up, you happen to notice Brock, Nerees, some Goliath you've never even seen before with one eye. You see Anna.
Hey, it's who's man?
See Hercules. Right in the middle, right there next to Brock, you see Perseus. He's just opened up a portal for you to join.
We'll run through that. And then,
Good. At least I get to go through it by myself, and that's why it throw me.
Well, just go through
it. That's why it throw me through it.
does Nereus see the portal open?
Don't you
You don't have to wait until next.
don't you reach your hand to the.
Alright, that's been Beyond Calibur. This has been session 6.5 of Olympian Chronicles Warriors. We'll see y'all next time.